Welcome back. Thank you for returning. Michael Dickerson, KC9PHK, here on behalf of the Clay County Area Amateur Radio Club, once again, covering the 2019 to 2023 General Class Question Study Pool that went into effect July the 1st, 2019. This will be video number 3. First off, today, G2C, covering CW operating procedures and procedural signals, Q signals, and common abbreviations. Full break-in. G2C01, which of the following describes full break-in telegraphy, also known as QSK? A. Braking stations send the Morse code pro sign BK. B. Automatic keyers instead of hand keys are used to send a Morse code. C. An operator must activate a manual send-receive switch before and after every transmission. Or D. Transmitting stations can receive between code, characters, and elements. Correct answer, D. Transmitting stations can receive between code, characters, and elements. G2C02. What should you do if a CW station sends QRS? A. Send slower. B. Change frequency. C. Increase your power. Or D. Repeat everything twice. Correct answer here is A. Send slower. G2C03. What does it mean when a CW operator sends KN at the end of a transmission? A. Listening for novice stations. B. Operating full break-in. C. Listening only for specific station or stations. Or D. Closing station now. Answer is C. Listening only for a specific station or stations. G2C04. What does the Q signal QRL mean? A. Will you keep the frequency clear? B. Are you operating full break-in or can you operate full break-in? C. Are you listening only for a specific station? Or D. Are you busy or is this frequency in use? Correct answer is D. Are you busy or is this frequency in use? G2C05. What is the best speed to use when answering a CQ in Morse code? A. The fastest speed at which you are comfortable copying but no slower than the CQ. B. The fastest speed at which you are comfortable copying but no faster than the CQ. C. At the standard calling speed of 10 words per minute. Or D. At the standard calling speed of 5 words per minute. Correct answer is B. At the fastest speed at which you are comfortable copying but no faster than the CQ. G2C06. What does the term zero beat mean in CW operation? A. Matching the speed of the transmitting station. B. Operating split to avoid interference on frequency. C. Sending without error. Or D. Matching the transmit frequency to the frequency of a received signal. Correct answer, D. Matching the transmit frequency to the frequency of a received signal. G2C07. When sending CW, what does C mean when added to the RST report? A. Chirpy or unstable signal. B. Report was read from an S meter rather than estimated. C. 100% copy. Or D. Key clicks. Correct answer is A. Chirpy or unstable signal. G2C08. What pro sign is sent to indicate the end of a formal message when using CW? A. SK. B. BK. C. AR. Or D. KN. Correct answer is C. AR. G2C09. What does the Q signal QSL mean? A. Send slower. B. We have already confirmed by card. C. I acknowledge receipt. Or D. We have worked before. Correct answer is C. I acknowledge receipt. G2C10. What does the Q signal QRN mean? A. Send more slowly. B. Stop sending. C. Zero beat my signal. Or D. I am troubled by static. And the correct answer is D. I am troubled by static. G2C11. What does the Q signal QRV mean? A. You are sending too fast. B. There is interference on the frequency. C. I am quitting for the day. Or D. I am ready to receive messages. Correct answer D. I am ready to receive messages. G2D covers the Volunteer Monitoring Program and HF operations. G2D01, what is the Volunteer Monitoring Program? A. Amateur volunteers who are formally enlisted to monitor the airwaves for rule violations. B. Amateur volunteers who conduct amateur licensing examinations. C. Amateur operators who conduct frequency coordination for amateur VHF repeaters. Or D. Amateur volunteers who use their station equipment to help civil defense organizations in times of emergency. Correct answer here is A. Amateur volunteers who are formally enlisted to monitor the airwaves for rule violations. G2D02, which of the following are objectives of the Volunteer Monitoring Program? A. To conduct efficient and orderly amateur licensing examinations. B. To encourage amateur radio operators to self-regulate and comply with the rules. C. To coordinate repeaters for efficient and orderly spectrum use. Or D. To provide emergency and public safety communications. Correct answer is B. To encourage amateur radio operators to self-regulate and comply with the rules. G2D03, what skills learned during hidden transmitter hunts are of help to the Volunteer Monitoring Program? A. Identification of out-of-band operation. B. Direction finding used to locate stations violating FCC rules. C. Identification of different call signs. Or D. Hunters have an opportunity to transmit on non-amateur frequencies. Correct answer is B. Direction finding used to locate stations violating FCC rules. G2D04, which of the following describes an azimuthal projection map? A. A map that shows accurate land masses. B. A map that shows true bearings and distances from a particular location. C. A map that shows the angle at which an amateur satellite crosses the equator. Or D. A map that shows the number of degrees longitude that an amateur satellite appears to move westward at the equator with each orbit. Correct answer is B. A map that shows true bearings and distances from a particular location. G2D05, which of the following is a good way to indicate on a clear frequency in the HF phone bands that you are looking for a contact with any station? A. Sign your call sign once followed by the words listening for a call. If no answer, change frequency and repeat. B. Say QTC followed by this is and your call sign. If no answer, change frequency and repeat. C. Repeat CQ a few times followed by this is, then your call sign a few times, then pause to listen. Repeat as necessary. Or D. Transmit an unmodulated carrier for approximately 10 seconds followed by this is and your call sign and pause to listen. Repeat as necessary. Correct answer is C. Repeat CQ a few times followed by this is, then your call sign a few times, then pause to listen and repeat as necessary. G2D06, how is a directional antenna pointed when making a long path contact with another station? A. Towards the rising sun. B. Along the gray line. C. 180 degrees from the station's short path heading. Or D. Towards the north. Correct answer C. 180 degrees from the station's short path heading. G2D07, which of the following are examples of the NATO phonetic alphabet? A. Abel, Baker, Charlie, dog. B. Adam, boy, Charles, David. C. America, Boston, Canada, Denmark. Or D. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. Correct answer is D. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. G2D08, what is the reason why many amateurs keep a station log? A. The ITU requires a log of all international contacts. B. The ITU requires a log of all international third-party traffic. C. The log provides evidence of operation needed to renew a license without retest. Or D. To help with a reply if the FCC requests information. D. To help with a reply if the FCC requests information. G2D09, which of the following is required when participating in a contest on HF frequencies? A. Submit a log to the contest sponsor. B. Send a QSL card to the station's worked or QSL via Logbook of the World. C. Identify your station per normal FCC regulations. Or D. All of these choices are correct. Correct answer is C. Identify your station per normal FCC regulations. G2D10, what is a QRP operation? A. Remote piloted model control. B. Low power transmit operation. C. Transmission using quick response protocol. Or D. Traffic relay procedure net operation. Correct answer is B. Low power transmit operation. G2D11, which of the following is typical of the lower HF frequencies during the summer? A. Poor propagation at any time of day. B. Worldwide propagation during the daylight hours. C. Heavy distortion on signals due to photon absorption. Or D. High levels of atmospheric noise or static. Correct answer, D. High levels of atmospheric noise or static. G2E, Digital Operating Procedures. G2E01, which mode is normally used when sending RTTY signals via AFSK with an SSB transmitter? A. USB. B. DSB. C. CW. Or D. LSB. Correct answer is D. LSB. G2E02, how can a PACTOR modem or controller be used to determine if the channel is in use by other PACTOR stations? A. Unplug the data connector temporarily and see if the channel busy indicator is turned off. B. Put the modem or controller in a mode which allows monitoring communications without a connection. C. Transmit UI packets several times and wait to see if there is a response from another PACTOR station. Or D. Send the message, is this frequency in use? Correct answer is B. Put the modem or controller in a mode which allows monitoring communications without a connection. G2E03, what symptoms may result from other signals interfering with a PACTOR or WinMore transmission? A. Frequent retries or timeouts. B. Long pauses in message transmission. C. Failure to establish a connection between stations. Or D. All of these choices are correct. Correct answer is D. All of these choices are correct. G2E04, what segment of the 20 meter band is often used for digital transmissions, avoiding the DX propagation beacons? A. 14.000 to 14.050 MHz. B. 14.070 to 14.112 MHz. C. 14.150 MHz to 14.225 MHz. Or D. 14.275 to 14.350 MHz. Correct answer is B. 14.070 to 14.112 MHz. G2E05, what is the standard sideband used to generate a JT65, JT9, or FT8 digital signal when using AFSK in any amateur band? A. Lower sideband. B. Upper sideband. C. DSB. Or D. Single sideband. Correct answer is B. Upper sideband, USB. G2E06, what is the most common frequency shift for RTTY emissions in the amateur HF bands? A. 85 Hz. B. 170 Hz. C. 425 Hz. Or D. 850 Hz. Correct answer B. 170 Hz. G2E07, what segment of the 80 meter band is most commonly used for data transmissions? A. 3570 to 3600 kHz. B. 3500 to 3525 kHz. C. 3700 to 3750 kHz. Or D. 3775 to 3825 kHz. Correct answer here is A. 3570 to 3600 kHz. G2E08, in what segment of the 20 meter band are most PSK31 operations commonly found? A. At the bottom of the slow scan TV segment near 14.230 MHz. B. At the top of the SSB phone segment near 14.325 MHz. C. In the middle of the CW segment near the 14.100 MHz. Or D. Below the RTTY segment near 14.070 MHz. Correct answer is D. Below the RTTY segment near the 14.070 MHz. G2E09, how do you join a contact between two stations using the PACTOR protocol? A. Send broadcast packets containing your call sign while in monitor mode. B. Transmit a steady carrier until the PACTOR protocol times out and disconnects. C. Joining an existing contact is not possible. PACTOR connections are limited to 2 stations. Or D. Send a NAC response continuously so that the sending station must stand by. Correct answer is C. Joining an existing contact is not possible. PACTOR connections are limited to 2 stations. G2E10. Which of the following is a way to establish contact with a digital messaging system gateway station? A. Send an email to the system control operator. B. Send QRL in Morse code. C. Respond when the station broadcasts its SSID. Or D. Transmit a connect message on the station's published frequency. Correct answer is D. Transmit a connect message on the station's published frequency. G2E11. Which of the following is a characteristic of the FT8 mode of the WSJT-X family? A. It is a keyboard-to-keyboard chat mode. B. Each transmission takes exactly 60 seconds. C. It is limited to use on VHF. D. Typical exchanges are limited to call signs, grid locators, and signal reports. Correct answer is D. Typical exchanges are limited to call signs, grid locators, and signal reports. G2E12. Which of the following connectors would be a good choice for a serial data port? A. PL259. B. Type N. C. Type SMA. Or D. DE-9. Correct answer is D. DE-9. G2E13. Which communication system sometimes uses the internet to transfer messages? A. WinLink. B. RTTY. C. Aries. Or D. Skywarn. Correct answer is A. WinLink. G2E14. What could be wrong if you cannot decode an RTTY or other FSK signal, even though it is apparently tuned in properly? A. The mark and space frequencies may be reversed. B. You may have selected the wrong baud rate. C. You may be listening on the wrong sideband. Or D. All of these choices are correct. Correct answer is D. All of these choices are correct. G2E15. Which of the following is a requirement when using the FT8 digital mode? A. A special hardware modem. B. Computer time accurate within approximately 1 second. C. Receiver attenuator set to -12 dB. Or D. A vertically polarized antenna. Correct answer B. Computer time accurate within approximately 1 second. Sub-element G3 covers radio wave propagation. First up, G3A, sunspots and solar radiation, ionospheric disturbances, propagation forecasting, and indices. G3A01, what is the significance of the sunspot number with regard to HF propagation? A. Higher sunspot numbers generally indicate a greater probability of good propagation at higher frequencies. B. Lower sunspot numbers generally indicate greater probability of sporadic E propagation. C. A 0 sunspot number indicates that radio propagation is not possible on any band. Or D. A 0 sunspot number indicates undisturbed conditions. Correct answer A. Higher sunspot numbers generally indicate a greater probability of good propagation at higher frequencies. G3A02. What effect does a sudden ionospheric disturbance have on the daytime ionospheric propagation of HF radio waves? A. It enhances propagation on all HF frequencies. B. It disrupts signals on lower frequencies more than those on higher frequencies. C. It disrupts communications via satellite more than direct communications. Or D. None, because only areas on the night side of the Earth are affected. Correct answer B. It disrupts signals on lower frequencies more than those on higher frequencies. G3A03. Approximately how long does it take the increased ultraviolet and X-ray radiation from solar flares to affect radio propagation on Earth? A. 28 days. B. 1 to 2 hours. C. 8 minutes. Or D. 20 to 40 hours. Correct answer is C. 8 minutes. G3A04. Which of the following are least reliable for long-distance communications during periods of low solar activity? A. 80 meters and 160 meters. B. 60 meters and 40 meters. C. 30 meters and 20 meters. Or D. 15 meters, 12 meters, and 10 meters. Correct answer is D. 15 meters, 12 meters, and 10 meters. G3A05, what is the solar flux index? A measure of the highest frequency that is useful for ionospheric propagation between 2 points on Earth. B, a count of sunspots that is adjusted for solar emissions. C, another name for the American sunspot number. Or D, a measure of solar radiation at 10.7 centimeters wavelength. Correct answer is D, a measure of solar radiation at 10.7 centimeters wavelength. G3A06, what is a geomagnetic storm? A sudden drop in solar flux index. B, a thunderstorm that affects radio propagation. C, ripples in the ionosphere. Or D, a temporary disturbance in Earth's magnetosphere. Correct answer is D, a temporary disturbance in Earth's magnetosphere. G3A07, at what point in the solar cycle does the 20-meter band usually support worldwide propagation during daylight hours? A, at the summer solstice. B, only at the maximum point of the solar cycle. C, only at the minimum point of the solar cycle. Or D, at any point in the solar cycle. The correct answer is D, at any point in the solar cycle. G3A08, which of the following effects can a geomagnetic storm have on radio propagation? A, improved high latitude HF propagation. B, degraded high latitude HF propagation. C, improved ground wave propagation. Or D, degraded ground wave propagation. Correct answer is B, degraded high latitude HF propagation. G3A09, what benefit can high geomagnetic activity have on radio communications? A, auroras that can reflect VHF signals. B, higher signal strength for HF signals passing through the polar regions. C, improved HF long path propagation. D, reduced long delayed echoes. Correct answer A, auroras that can reflect VHF signals. G3A10, what causes HF propagation conditions to vary periodically in roughly 28-day cycle? A, long-term oscillations in the upper atmosphere. B, cyclic variations in the Earth's radiation belts. C, the sun's rotation on its axis. Or D, the position of the moon in its orbit. Correct answer is C, the sun's rotation on its axis. G3A11, how long does it take charged particles from a coronal mass ejection to affect radio propagation on Earth? A, 28 days. B, 14 days. C, 4 to 8 minutes. Or D, 20 to 40 hours. Correct answer is D, 20 to 40 hours. G3A12, what does the K index indicate? A, the relative position of sunspots on the surface of the sun. B, the short-term stability of Earth's magnetic field. C, the stability of the sun's magnetic field. Or D, the solar radio flux at Boulder, Colorado. Correct answer is B, the short-term stability of Earth's magnetic field. G3A13, what does the A index indicate? A, the relative position of the sunspots on the surface of the sun. B, the amount of polarization of the sun's electric field. C, the long-term stability of Earth's geomagnetic field. Or D, the solar radio flux at Boulder, Colorado. Correct answer is C, the long-term stability of Earth's geomagnetic field. G3A14, how are radio communications usually affected by the charged particles that reach the Earth from solar coronal holes? A, HF communications are improved. B, HF communications are disturbed. C, VHF and UHF ducting is improved. Or D, VHF-UHF ducting is disturbed. Correct answer is B, HF communications are disturbed. And that will end the third video in this series. Please continue to follow along as we continue to release more videos. Don't forget to subscribe and like our videos.